Welcome back to Life Unfiltered with Joe, with your podcast host, Joe, which is me. And I hope that you guys have been keeping updated on my podcast, on my YouTube channel. My YouTube provides different videos. I do upload my podcast videos on there, but I tried to also involve just normal YouTube fun to watch videos. And today I'm excited about our topic. However, I'm also very nervous. So today I would say is the first day that I will probably just kind of ramble on. I don't really have a direction. I feel like with this topic, my mind has so many racing thoughts and so many pathways that I could go down with this conversation that actually also this podcast, I had to take more notes to try to organize my thoughts. Eventually, I realized it was not working. So, this is going to be interesting, but I do have a lot to say because today we are talking about guys. Yes, the men who are listening, we are talking about you. And I hope that you stay tuned because you could definitely pick something up with this podcast. But without further ado, we are going to talk about a Amazon review per usual before we get into that intro beat. So, Amazon review, let's talk about it. I provide an Amazon link for you guys every single week down below in the description box. What this does is if you click that link and purchase something, not even the product that I linked it to, I get a very, very small commission. Now, with this link, it only lasts 24 hours. So I would appreciate it if you're listening to this podcast the day it drops to even just click the link and see if there's at least anything in your cart that you could purchase within that 24 hours of when that podcast was released. After that 24 hours, my link does no longer get me commission. So today, we're going to be talking about a food processor. Let's talk adulting. So I always used to love to cook. I still love to cook, but I would look at the recipe, the ingredients, how to do it, what have you, and I would always get turned off when I saw that I needed a food processor because I just simply didn't have one. And there was a lot of recipes that I wanted to make and I had to skip over because I simply didn't have a food processor. So I decided this past week, because I saw a recipe and I really, really, really wanted to make it. And so I purchased my food processor off of Amazon. And you guys, I was literally, Kim. If you guys don't like Kim Kardashian or the Kardashians, you're not going to understand that phrase. But anywho, I was literally mind blown. Like, this food processor changed my entire cooking experience. It cut down prep time, and I realized I could also use it for so many other things other than the recipe I had intended it for. So anywho, I got the Hamilton Beach food processor. I got the 8-cup option. It's big and bulky, so if you're watching the YouTube video today, I'm not going to get it out on my table and show you guys, but I will show you off my phone. This is the food processor that I got, and it is running $44.99, and best believe that shit came on Amazon Prime. So anywho, if you guys are into cooking but have always been like me and skipped recipes that require a food processor, just do it. Just do yourself the favor. You are not going to regret it. And also behind me, you can see all my Halloween decorations. I spent my a day last week decorating for Halloween, and it was so cute. My son, he got up from his nap and he came downstairs and he was like, "Oh my goodness, where did all these decorations come from?" And I said, "They were down in the basement." And he said, "Wow." And then he started jumping up and down. He said, "Halloween time, Halloween time." And if you don't know this about me, y'all are going to know it now. I love holidays. I love decorating for any holiday. I love celebrating every holiday. I'm really big into holidays, and I think it's just because I really love tradition. I really love the tradition feeling that you get and just being able to look forward to that something, whatever it is, every single year. And for me, it's that event that we do every single year on whatever holiday that is. But also, that Amazon link is on my other YouTube channel, my other YouTube video that I made called Decorate for Halloween with Me. So, anywho, a little bit of a ramble before we get talking about these men, and let's get started. All right, so a couple of reasons why I'm doing this episode. First of all, episode 6 and episode 7 were based on, moms, parenting, pregnancy, very female oriented. And then I figured this would be a good way to get the other population of males to make this episode 8, so flipping gears. However, what really mostly made me start this podcast this week was because I had a male reach out to me and said, hey, listen, I really enjoy your podcasts, but I would really like it if you kind of tailored to men a little bit more, and did a few episodes on that. He said, I don't really know what population you're going for, but I would really be interested in this. And he actually asked me a few questions about men, like in a female perspective. And I thought that was a really great opportunity for me to open this episode up to him and other males and have that conversation about the questions that he asked that I will go into. And then tomorrow, I actually have an interview with another male. I'm not really sure what direction we're going to go in for that podcast, but letting you guys know that there will be a male interview on the podcast soon. Coming at you. Okay, so I said that my ideas were kind of everywhere for this podcast, and it's kind of funny because, you guys make females go crazy, and that's why our mind is always jumbled and everywhere. No, I'm just kidding, kind of. But what do I have to say? Okay, so this guy reached out and he asked, what are the expectations of a guy? He said, let the man be the man. He said, sometimes women struggle with letting the man be a man. And then other things that he asked was, why do females tend to pick a fuckboy over a good guy? And another question he asked was, how do I approach a lady properly that catches my eye? Now, I'm going to say with all of this, each female is different. And that's the good thing, right? We all don't like the same things. So what I tell you today is going to be very biased probably towards me. However, I will say, hopefully I can say that all women deserve or want respect. So hopefully when I talk about it in that realm or that perspective, that's not going to change woman to woman. So let's get started. You guys, I had to make a whole, those idea webs that you would make in elementary school or even college, I guess, if you're trying to collect your thoughts, where you put the main category in the circle and then you kind of branch off and make different circles. Well, I literally had to do that with my thoughts today because I could not gather them. But okay, expectations of a man. So here's the deal. I think that there is the most basic, minimal expectations of a man, which is honesty, loyalty, faithfulness, kindness, so on and so forth. However, to me, those are the most basic and minimal thing that a man can do. And I had a guy tell me before, oh, I don't cheat on you and I don't lie to you. Awesome. Great. Let me give you a gold star. You're doing the minimum, the bare minimum. So what are your expectations? I think it depends on what a guy does, right? And honestly, this kind of goes for everybody. We all have expectations. But for a guy, let's break it down. If he's in a relationship, he has the expectations of a relationship role. If he's working, he has the expectations of being an employee. If he is a homeowner, he has the expectations of taking care of the home. If he has kids, he has the expectation in the role of being a dad. And then he also has the expectations of being a brother, being a son, being an uncle, whatever that is. You have many, many different roles, which each create different expectations on each responsibility. So when this person asked me, what is the expectations of a guy? It's kind of like in what aspect? So I'm going to take it as he meant, what are the expectations of a guy in a relationship? So I think other than the most basic minimum expectations that I have already mentioned, I think the next expectation to have for a man is make sure that he is interested in knowing how you receive love. So what I mean by that is there's this thing called 5 love languages. Everyone has them. And what you do is you can Google it, or there's a book, there's a short quiz, there's a long quiz, but you figure out your love language. So what that means is everyone has a love language, and you give love in a certain love language, and then you also receive love in a certain love language. So an expectation of a guy is to know, how does my woman receive love? Because then it's the guy's expectation to love her in the way that she receives love. So the 5 love languages are gifts, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, and acts of service. So let's break it down. Let's say I'm the female and my love language is gifts. So what does gifts mean? Gifts means that you buy me a candy bar at the store when you are at the gas station. Gifts mean you bring me home a coffee. Gifts mean that, even more extravagant, like you buy me a new pair of shoes. Gifts can be small, like a candy bar can be big. But either way, gifts is how I receive love, meaning that's how I feel loved by you. And that's your example. So another example, let's say my love language was physical touch. So for a guy, your expectation, if your woman is a physical touch, that's her love language, it's your expectation to love her in that manner. So what does that mean? When you guys are sitting on the couch, you lay your hand on her thigh. When you guys are in the store, you grab her hand to hold her hand. When you guys are in the kitchen or she's cooking, you come up behind her and you hug her. You're loving her in her love language, and that's your expectation in a relationship, to fill her cup up, to make her happy, to make her feel wanted. Let's give examples of words of affirmation. If I'm the woman, it's the man's expectation to say, hey babe, you're doing a really good job with your project, or you're doing a really good job with your school, or wow, you look really good today, or I love your hair today. Whatever that is, give her those compliments, because words of affirmation is her love language, and that's how she feels loved. Another example, quality time. If she receives love, it's your expectation. If she receives love and quality time, it's your expectation to give her that quality time. Hey babe, Thursday night, do you have anything planned? No? All right, Thursday night, I had made it my point to spend 2 hours with you, just you and me, giving her that quality time. And then last but not least, acts of service. If her love language is acts of service, it's the guy's expectation to love her in that manner, which is going to be, hey, what do you need help with today? Do you want me to do the dishes for you? Do you need your gas tank filled? I can go do that for you. Do you need me to run these errands? I can do that for you. Doing these acts of service is going to make her feel loved if that's her love language. So I gave you guys many, many examples in all different love languages. So one expectation of a guy is to know his woman's love language, so then he then is expected and can hold himself accountable to loving her in the way that she receives love. Now, this podcast, episode today is about guys, but ladies, it also is vice versa. Your man does have love languages, and it's also the woman's expectation to know the man's love language and to love him in the way that he feels loved, because you want to fill his cup up too. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-party relationship. So there's that. Let's see. Another expectation. The person who reached out to me said, guys have this expectation of being the man in the home. And I really struggle with this. So what I struggle with this is we are living in today's time where both parties, the male and the female, are working. Both parties are hopefully contributing the same amount of housework, the same amount of parenting. Both parties are cooking. Both parties are doing the laundry, vice versa. So that's kind of more like today's modern way of relationships. Then there's like the traditional way of, okay, let the man be a man. So what does that mean? So I would say more traditional, letting the man be a man would be like, okay, I'm going to go to work and I will pay all your bills. You don't have to worry about anything financially. And that sounds awesome to us women, right? But guess what? If you're living in that traditional role identity, then guess what, women? It's your responsibility to then cook, clean, take care of the kids, make sure dinner's on the table for him when he gets home, right? I feel sometimes like women say, oh, well, it's the guy's job to take care of me financially, and it's the guy's job to pay all the bills, Then it's like, great. Well, then if you want to do that, then don't forget about your role too. Don't forget about the laundry in the house and this, that, the other. So I think sometimes in today's world, and I don't mean to bash females because, right, I'm a woman, I'm supposed to be feminist or whatever, but I want to be very equal. Everyone should be treated fairly. So it's not all about women. It's really not. Like, men, you guys deserve respect also. I hope I don't step on anyone's toes here, but anywho, I guess that's my comments about let the man be a man. Now, I think another issue is if the man is trying to be a man and the woman is kind of overbearing that role, I think there might be many different factors as to why. One, I'm sorry guys, but it's just not in your DNA to multitask. It's just not. Guys, you get fixated on one thing and that's what you do and that's what you're good at, but it's hard to multitask. So as a woman, or as a woman, she's going to pick up the other things naturally. It's our natural ability to pick up more multitasking things, even if it's a man's job. And that might make you feel like you're not being a man, but quite frankly, if you can't handle all these things on your plate, we're just going to do it. Like, if we want it done, we're just going to do it. And that's all there is to it. So the expectations of a guy are, I think, very, there's the basic minimum expectations. Then there's the very tailored to the relationship expectations, such as love languages, and such as, are you guys more in like a modern role, or are you guys following more traditional role, and what are those expectations in that relationship? So to go any further in that, that's definitely a conversation that if you are wondering what your expectations are as a man, it's to talk to you or your spouse about it and figure out what are we doing here? What do we want to follow? What are our beliefs? And yeah. So moving on, let's see. Oh, he asked, why do females pick a fuckboy over good guys? I think this answer also is very, very independent to each woman. So if you're trying to get at this lady and she keeps choosing this fuckboy over you, even though you're clearly a better man, it's not that easy. It's really not. Like, what is their past? Have they been together for 7 years? How much have they built and how much have they put into this relationship? Do they have kids together? Some people don't believe in breaking up and having a split household. So is that a factor? Do they share a mortgage? Is that a factor? Do they just, I don't know. A lot of people are attracted to I can't even pronounce it. You guys know what I'm saying. The toxic type relationships some people are attracted to. It's a really, 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 really negative, bad habit that I encourage people to break, but some people can't. So maybe they're just attracted to that toxic relationship. I don't know. Maybe there's so many different reasons why she could be picking this fuckboy over you, and I can't give you that answer. So I think there's so many factors going into that. Let's see. Another question he asked was how to approach a lady that catches my eye. So I love this question. I love this question because what do I say? I would definitely respond to a man differently by the way he approached me. So if a guy came up to me and he said, hey girl, can I get your number? Oh, absolutely not. Like, no. I don't know one thing about you and you want my number? No, thank you. He comes up to me, oh, can I get your Snapchat? Okay, well, first of all, how about you introduce yourself? And first of all, how about you just get to know me? I don't even have a Snapchat. So nice try, buddy. So how does a guy respectfully approach a woman that he is attracted to? First, one thing I will say that the other guys did right of the examples that I just gave is shoot your shot. If you see a woman and you just can't get your mind off of her and you can't stop thinking about her, like the worst she's going to say is no. So shoot your shot. Like at this point, you have nothing to lose. You can either get her or you just won't have her, which you didn't in the first place. So you literally have nothing to lose. Shoot your shot. The second thing is I feel like the proper way to approach a woman is to go up to her, honestly, like shake my fucking hand and introduce yourself. Like I want to know your name. That's cool that you want my number, but don't start off with that because I could care less. I don't even know your fucking name. Introduce yourself first and foremost. Second of all, do not, I repeat, do not jump into, can I get your name or can I get your number? Can I get your Snapchat? Can I get your Facebook? Can I get your Instagram? Can I get your address? No, we're not doing all that. I would say, for me personally, I would like a guy to come up to me and say, my name is so-and-so. Give me a compliment. I find you really attractive. I find you beautiful. And then they say, are you by chance talking to anybody or involved with anyone? And I feel like that's the most respectful way to approach a woman because you're giving her the ability to speak. You're giving her the ability to be honest. You're giving her the ability to be loyal to her relationship. And you're also giving her the ability, or not her the ability, you're also giving her the respect of saying, hey, I respect you if you have a relationship, then we don't need to further this conversation. Hey, I respect you if you're talking to somebody. I don't want to step on her or his toes. We don't need to finish this conversation. So it's giving giving her and her relationship enough respect to even ask, hey, are you talking to anybody? Hey, are you involved in a relationship? And giving me that respect of not only respecting me at that point, but respecting my relationship is going to be top notch for me. So again, I would say go up to the lady, introduce yourself, maybe give her a small compliment and say, are you talking to anybody or are you in a relationship? And then from there, she has this one to say, hey, like I am actually talking to somebody, but I appreciate your compliment and I appreciate you approaching me that way. Or she can say, hey, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not really looking for anything serious, but I really appreciate the way you approached me. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram or reach out to me on my Snapchat, whatever, give her that opportunity to also reply and tell you what she's comfortable with giving you. Maybe she's not comfortable giving you her number yet. So, anywho, I would say that is definitely the way how to approach a female. And yeah, so moving on, I think I covered everything. Expectations, let the man be a man, why pick a fuckboy, and how to approach a lady. Okay, so I covered everything that he had asked. So I hope that this podcast reaches you, and I hope that this helped you out. I kind of want to go into kind of the woman's side of a man and being in a relationship with a man or what have you. So why I want to mention this is because, one, I think breakups and heartaches are the number one worst feeling in the world. Two, I feel like they can be so mentally damaging, and it really doesn't need to be. And three, quite frankly, guys, you in today's world have become so babied, and us women, we don't need to stoop down to that level. Like, we don't. So I want to clear that air for the women that it's not you, it's him, really. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So guys oftentimes will think that a woman is nagging, right? Like, hey, I need you to help me with this. Hey, I need you to do more of this. Hey, I need you to step up a little bit. Hey, I need you to be a man. And he thinks that she's nagging, right? But the reality is she has a boundary. So women, if this is you, you have a boundary. The reality is you have a boundary. You will not let a man disrespect you. You will not let a man be babied. You're not going to baby him. You're not going to let a man come in and out of your life. Some men like it if they can do whatever the fuck they want and they're still coming home to you. So that means he doesn't care if he's disrespecting you or he's running in and out of your life or he's lying to you. If he can still come back to you, a lot of guys like that, which is fine. But guess what? If you're a person or a female who has boundaries that don't let that happen or don't allow that to happen, you are strong as fuck. And those other women, weak ass bitches. Weak. And I say this because guys sometimes have all these expectations of a woman, girls have all these expectations of a man, and the man isn't able to fulfill them. And he says, oh, you're just nagging. Oh, you ask too much. Oh, you just do too much. No, the reality is you like weak ass bitches. So go along, move on to the next relationship, to someone who's passive, to someone who doesn't have these boundaries. If you like weak ass bitches, I'm sorry that I'm too strong for you. I'm sorry that I have enough respect for myself. I'm sorry that I'm not going to baby you. I'm sorry that you don't know how to be a man. Like, I'm not going to apologize for any of that. Go ahead, move on, and let me go find myself a real man. So, ladies, if your guy says that you're naggy, you're doing too much, maybe you're just too strong for him. And that's okay. It's okay to be too strong for someone because you don't want someone who's weak either. So that's what I have to say about that. And then another thing is women, if you are too naggy or you do this, because you have boundaries, and he moves on to another female, and this female's like, oh yeah, I won him over, Bitch, you have something below me. Below me, not above me. You have something below me because I didn't let him treat me that way. So have fun because you're not winning at anything. What? You're winning at letting him treat you like anything? Okay. let him treat you like anything. I don't want to be treated like shit. I don't want to be disrespected. I don't want to be with a weak ass man. You aren't winning. So if you are hurt that your man has another female and she's bragging, da 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 da, well, he's not really what you wanted anyways, and she's beneath you. So let them have at it. And then, I'm sorry, just like, if you want to be above me, you will literally have to be standing at my motherfucking head to be above me. Because I'm a strong ass bitch. That's how I am. I have so many boundaries, so many expectations, so many things that a man is going to have to come into my life and say, wow, like, I better play my part motherfucking good, or else she's on to the next one because she's not playing these games. And I think that's important. But I also think that in the society today, we don't see that very often. And I don't mean to be rude, but I honestly think it's because nobody taught them. We have a lot of males and females, so families, we have a lot of families growing up in a one-parent household. And more often than not, that one-parent household is a mom. And these guys aren't getting the role of a man and what that looks like. So he views his mom as this caretaker, right? His mom is the only one taking care of him. His mom is the only one that's feeding him, helping him out, this, that, the other. So when he goes into a relationship, again, this is my opinion, when he goes into a relationship, he's going to look for that female to take care of him, to cater to him, to this, that, because he never had a father or a male figure to show him, hey, this is what a real man looks like. This is what a real man does. Now, I also think it's the mom's responsibility, because I do feel like women can be strong enough to raise a son to be a man, but it takes the mom role to be like, hey, I'm not carrying out those groceries. I'm not bringing those groceries in the car. You can carry them for me. You can do it. Or, hey, this is what you do. You open females' doors so you can walk ahead of me to out to the car, and you can open my door before you get in. Now, I'm not trying to be like belittling or whatever, but like, if you're the only female and you don't have any man to show him these things, you have to play the part and physically show him how to do it, right? So I think it's the mom's job, and I think it's also the job of a guy. But if he's not in the home, then it is the mom's job. And then if it's the mom's not doing it, the guy doesn't know any better. So he's going to carry out what he saw throughout his life, throughout his relationships. And then he's not going to know any better. So there's that. Kind of a ramble. I do want to play you guys some recordings based off of men like weaker women sometimes, because I summarized it in my own words, but where I learned that thought process and that opinion I got from somebody, and I want to look it up for you guys and play it for you. It really uplifted me and just made me feel like a strong woman. And then, guys, I encourage you to, if you have kids, be that man so they learn how to be a real man in a relationship, and they can learn to love a strong woman and not love women who take care of them. Guys, I also encourage you to have multiple roles and expectations, right? We talked about roles of being a homeowner, being a dad, being in a relationship, but also you have the expectation of learning your woman's love language and love her in that love language way. And that's all I have to say for you today. So I'm going to go ahead and play these recordings. Okay, so this woman, her name is, actually, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I can't say it, but she is the owner of Styled by Keys. Her Instagram handle is DAUJEE_KEYES. And I will also put that in the description so you can go ahead and copy and paste it and find her on Instagram. But as of right now, I'm going to play this recording for you. And she's a very, very powerful speaker. So let's get to it.
Females always think that if they talking to a dude you used to talk to, or they dealing with a dude that you dealt with, that they got one up on you. Like, you would literally have to be standing on top of my fucking head to have one up on me. Cause a dude don't count. Female.
So that was one. And then I am going to find the other. Let's see. She has so many videos, and what she does is she just sits here and she talks about relationships, and she talks about having expectations for yourself as a woman. She talks about expectations of a man and what those look like. And so if this episode interested you, I highly, highly encourage you to look her up on Instagram. Here is the next video.
Sometimes you being strong can run a man into a weaker woman. And what I mean by you being strong is you won't let him come in whenever he wants to. You won't let him disrespect you. You won't let him cheat on you. You won't let him dog you. You always calling him out on his shit. And some men can look at that as, oh, she nagging. Oh, she tripping. Oh, she doing too fucking much. And then he go run to a weaker woman. And she over there thinking she got such a prize and she got something in her that you don't. But she really does. Because she willing to put up with some shit that you ain't going to. And for that, I feel like some men are weak ass men. Because some men don't want strong women. They don't want women who ain't gonna deal with that shit. Who ain't gonna be going for that type of shit. They want somebody that's gonna be there and stay down even when they doing wrong. So maybe you are too strong for him and he do need somebody weaker than you. So stop thinking because he went and fucked with her, she has something above you. No, she has something beneath you. Because some men stick with the weaker women for a long period of time and end up marrying them because they willing to put up with more shit. And when you understand that, you're going to be so much better off.
Okay, facts. So I know I said bye in the previous little clip, but after I played those for you, obviously I got to talking again. So I hope that reached to you, and we will see you next week. Guys, please reach out to let me know what other things that you want to know about women, or if you're a guy and like this certain episode. Bye.